we have a video I was actually really looking forward to. The death of Xbox.
Names are a symptom of that. Xbox might not make another console, and here's all the reasons why.
Does anyone really even play Xbox anymore? Is that... Actually, before we start, I'm taking a piss break. Count me down. Okay, on a real note, what does Xbox even have anymore? They have a shitty Game Pass. They don't have like any really good exclusive games anymore. I think Halo's about to go to PlayStation, isn't it? So that's really the only thing Xbox had going for them. So besides that, what do they even have?
PlayStation 5 since release has been destroying the Xbox in sale. This started off pretty even, then eventually the PS5 just overtook it completely and has left it in the dust. And in my own life, this also holds true. People I know either have a PS5 or a Nintendo Switch. Not many people have an Xbox Series
Who the fuck has a Nintendo Switch? What the fuck? Who just plays Nintendo Switch?
X or S. And part of the reason why no one bought the Xbox Series S and X is because of the names. The Xbox naming scheme really fell off with the Xbox One. Like, people rag on the Wii U for having a bad name, rightfully so. But Xbox kind of did the same thing.
Okay, I don't feel like a name is the reason that Xbox is dying. Just because they named their Xbox X and Xbox Series S, that's not the reason it's dying.
It wasn't exactly as bad as Nintendo's naming scheme, but going from Xbox 360 to Xbox One was really stupid. Especially when the competition, the PlayStation, just went from PS3 to PS4. It's a lot.
Whoa. What was that PS3? That is kind of...
Especially when the competition, the PlayStation, just went from PS3 to PS4.
Yo, when did they have a red PS3?
It's a lot more clear-cut, and Xbox One is confusing. And the Xbox Series X is even more confusing because there's also the Xbox Series S, okay? And they called the previous Xbox upgrades the Xbox One X and Xbox One S. If they...
That was me, Xbox One S. I had that.
Is it...
I know you're not shaming on the Switch. Okay, I'm not shaming on the Switch. It's just like, who just has a Switch? Like, I feel like most people have a main console and then a Switch, not a... just Switch for their main console.
Confusing to you? You're probably 14. It's like Xbox doesn't really know what they want to be anymore, and the names are a symptom of that. Ever since that Xbox presentation where they just talked about the TV the entire time, Xbox has been dead to a lot of people, including...
Yo, did anyone have like the Xbox motion capture? The shit they try to do with like how the Wii did was, and like it would track your movements and shit, and like people would play Just Dance with that shit. Anybody have that?
Me. The fall from grace that Xbox had when they revealed the Xbox cable box is astounding. Like, the Xbox 360 was the gamer console. That's the console you played all your big multiplayer games on. COD got DLC packs a month early on the Xbox 360 compared to the PS3. And at the time, they were all map packs. So you got a pretty substantial amount of content early. And then Halo was one of the go-to games at the time, which you could only play on the Xbox. And Halo 3 had one of the biggest midnight releases ever.
Halo 3 is a great game. Halo 3 is a great game.
Really was the console for gamers. And then they released the Xbox One, which was all about TV. Now, everyone at the time who actually bought consoles knew this was a bad idea. Everyone got the memo except for Microsoft. And in hindsight, it's even funnier because, yeah, no one watches cable TV anymore. You probably do watch stuff on your console. It's just on the Netflix app or the YouTube app, not cable. This decision to market the Xbox One towards TV was just really silly. And it's especially in price.
Yeah, it was stupid because cable prices were like crazy high. Netflix just came out. You could watch that at that time. You could literally watch whatever you wanted on Netflix. So that was definitely stupid.
Xbox managed to fall off this hard when the PlayStation had a pretty bad reputation. Like,
what the fuck is them graphics?
PlayStation was seen as the budget option, like budget in like great value way. It's like not good, mainly because you didn't have to pay for premium connectivity, and it also got DLC later than the Xbox, so it felt cheaper. And people also didn't like the controllers. People preferred the Xbox controllers, and people still do, by the way.
Yeah, Xbox controller, like literally any game I use to play controller, I use this. That I love the Xbox controller.
Most people I talk to still prefer Xbox controllers over PlayStation. But the point is, Xbox had all these advantages compared to PlayStation and still fumbled the bag. The PS4 even added paying for online. So if you were buying a PS4, it was a worse deal than a PS3. And I bring all this up because really the Xbox One was the first domino and Xbox maybe never making a console again. After the Xbox One,
I feel like it all changed like No Glaze when the Spider-Man game came out. I feel like that's when shit started changing a little bit, and people were like, "Wow, PlayStation is," because they would buy a PlayStation for the Spider-Man game, and they were like, "Wow, PlayStation actually is pretty good." And like once PlayStation got their shit together, Sony got their shit together.
Flopped. Microsoft went to Xbox and basically broke their kneecaps and told them to run. From what I understand, ever since the Xbox One, Microsoft has not treated Xbox favorably at all, which I'm sure is not helping Xbox. And then also, somewhere down the line, Xbox forgot they're supposed to make good games with the console. They can't just make the console. When I think about the Xbox 360, I think about the games I played on it. Games like Call of Duty, Halo 3, and Uno.
You have Uno!
Some of you probably thought of Gears of War and just Xbox Live Arcade in general because there's a lot of hidden gems on there. The Xbox Live Arcade was a lot like the Steam.
I asked my dad for an Xbox, and that's for queers, and got me a PS4. I mean, the PS4, I will say, at the end of their run was better than that. He said, yeah. But I feel like at the end of the stretch, when PS5 was about to come out and the Xbox Series X was about to come out, PS4 was better than Xbox at that time. And people who were like getting the new consoles, I feel like that's when the big switch happened. People that were getting new consoles saw all these like exclusive games like God of War, Spider-Man, all that, and were like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get an Xbox. And I feel like every game that people cared about, they could transfer their accounts over. So like Fortnite, you could transfer your account over. Minecraft, you could transfer your Microsoft account over. So there was no really major point to have an Xbox at this point, because Halo was on its downfall, and now Halo's about to come to PlayStation if I'm not mistaken. And so really there's just no point to have an Xbox, be an Xbox exclusive gamer.
Early access section, like you can find some amazing games, but most of them are garbage. But the Xbox 360 had games and people were hyped for those games. And the Xbox One really didn't get much. Like really, it was Dead Rising 3, Sunset Overdrive, Forza, and I guess Halo. I know Sunset Overdrive is like widely acclaimed. I have not played it personally. Halo 5 had mixed reception. Forza is Forza.
Halo 5 is terrible.
And Dead Rising.
Terrible game. Halo 5 is a terrible game.
Rising 3 was a buggy, laggy mess. How do I know? I tried to play it. But games on the Xbox One versus the Xbox 360 fell off pretty hard. They weren't bad, but there was definitely less option. And when you get to the Xbox Series X, exclusives fall off even harder. Mainly because none of the games are really exclusive anymore. For some reason, Xbox saw the Epic Games style of like releasing exclusives and was like, hey, I'm gonna do that even though it literally doesn't work. And we'll talk about that more right after a message from the sponsor. Today's video is...
Nope, sorry, nope, not doing it. Not doing it.
Shall not be named that are made with cardboard.
Nope. Thank you for putting a
timed exclusives don't really.
And just Nintendo Switch Loki has the best exclusive because all their games are exclusive. I mean, that's a preference based opinion there. Like, I feel like Nintendo exclusives are targeted towards nostalgia. People that are nostalgic over like Mario games, people who like Pokemon, and like it's a very niche category of gaming. But I mean, I'm not hating on any Nintendo exclusive game. I think I love Mario, I love Pokemon, but I feel like it's just a niche category of gamers who have a stereotypical bad rep for being nerds and chuds.
Sell consoles? Like, yeah, it helps, but it's not really selling consoles. Which
statistically, PlayStation does have the best exclusive games.
It sells consoles is fantastic exclusive games that you can only play on that console. Nintendo is a perfect example of
There you go, Sliff.
this. You don't buy a Nintendo console to play Call of Duty. You buy a Nintendo console to play Nintendo games. It's also one of the reasons why Nintendo is rarely ever compared to the Xbox or PS5. They really just aren't in the same league of consoles. And then Sony has been moving in this direction.
Yeah, I agree with that. You can't compare Nintendo to Xbox and PlayStation. One, because I mean it's a handheld console. It's a primarily handheld console. It's not supposed to run 250 frames. I guess the Nintendo Switch 2 can maybe, but yeah, it's more of an on-the-go console and not a sit-down thing.
With PlayStation. Have you noticed that a lot of people have been talking about how good the games are on PlayStation versus Xbox? And then Xbox has completely abandoned this idea. Everything that releases on the Xbox is almost guaranteed to eventually be released on the PC. And then most of the time, those exclusives also end up on the PS5. Like, for
Okay, but a lot of PlayStation exclusives end up on PC. I feel like almost every game on both consoles you can play on PC, so that's not really a good argument.
example, Starfield is expected to come out in the PS5 around this year or next year. There really isn't any reason to get an Xbox Series X over a PS5 unless you really like Halo or Starfield. And even then, if you like those games, you might as well just get a decent gaming PC because it's not going to be that much more than an Xbox Series X.
Exactly, and you can run better frames, faster, everything processes faster. Honestly, PC is the superior gaming console. I mean, superior gaming device because, I mean, you can play whatever game you want. There's always workarounds to play any game you want.
At this point, and when you factor in Xbox Game Pass on the PC and Steam sales, it kind of makes sense.
Having a PC used to be for nerds, and now I feel like it's like everyone's drifting towards the PC gaming style.
Why you get a PC. Now, there's also the Xbox Series S, which is available and cheaper, but it's hard to know if people are actually buying this thing because Xbox does not separate their sales numbers at all. They're just one graph. It's like how Tesla puts their bad selling cars all in the same category, so you can't tell which one's doing bad. Except in the case with Xbox, it's all of their consoles. And they also stopped releasing the sales numbers themselves, so we can assume that they're bad. So all we have are estimates, and they're not good. The PS5 has sold around 65 million units, and the Xbox X and Series S have sold under 30 million. It is currently a bloodbath for Xbox, and this has been happening since the Xbox One, and it's pretty clear to me that Xbox has been giving up on the hardware side of things for a while. Like 10 years ago, Phil Spencer was talking about Xbox as a service. Xbox is clearly moving towards Xbox Game Pass as being the replacement for the Xbox console. And in my opinion, in the long term, this is a horrible decision. Like, first off, Game Pass is not going to move a lot of consoles because it's Game Pass. The whole idea behind Game Pass is that everything is an Xbox. There was a whole ad campaign about it. And as a PC player, the Xbox Game Pass is perfect if you don't want to ever buy an Xbox. I can play a lot of games in existence for $12 a month. And if a new Xbox game comes out, I can pay for $12 for a month, play the game, and then cancel my subscription. And
yeah, literally, that's literally what I do. I buy it, like, for my new YouTube video I just came out with, Halo Combat Evolved. I literally bought Xbox Game Pass to play Halo Combat Evolved, and I canceled my subscription right after I was done with that shit.
At this point in time, Game Pass is only losing Xbox money. It is not making the money whatsoever. And it's not selling consoles either. So given that Xbox Game Pass is only a drain on Xbox currently, it's pretty safe to say they're doing what Netflix did in the early days of Netflix, where they start off really cheap, they get you hooked, and you keep paying for it even though the price just keeps increasing. They're basically trying to be the middleman for gaming services, where you pay a rental fee to Xbox to play games. And the goal for Game Pass is 100 million subscribers by 2030. And I don't think that's gonna happen. For context, Netflix has 300 million users globally, but only about 80 million of those users are in the US. And Xbox is pretty notorious for being hated everywhere but the USA. This 100 million subscriber goal is a total shot in the dark, especially when you take into consideration that the Game Pass prices currently are way too low to be sustainable. Just like Netflix did, once they reach a certain amount of subscribers, they will increase the cost of the subscription. But if they
Xbox is like shady like that. They lower the price of they, like he just said, they lower the price of the Game Pass and then they skyrocket it back up. And people, like, they take advantage of that because people, like, won't realize, like, that they raised it until it's too late. They already paid for it. And they look at their bank statements, and it says $24 fucking.
Keep increasing the price, I do not see Game Pass getting 100 million subscribers by 2030. It's just not gonna happen. As of now, Xbox only has 30 million subscribers to Game Pass. And a lot of people who get Game Pass are probably just playing like 1 or 2 games on there. And if it costs $30 a month at some point, people are going to look at that and be like, why am I paying for this? I only play 2 games, and just buy the 2 games. Also, Xbox already said they weren't going to raise prices and did anyway. It was a condition set by courts to buy Activision Blizzard to not raise the price of Game Pass. And they did it anyways. And it's only going to go up.
Yeah, they lowered Game Pass prices, but they take Call of Duty off. That's going to lower your That's people. A lot of people buy Game Pass for one game, and I think it's kind of stupid because at the end of the day, you're gonna be paying more for that one game than if you were to just buy the game. But you take Call of Duty off of Game Pass, and you see your subscriptions start to go down. I mean, if you want more people to pay for your subscription, you got to keep at least some good games on there. Xbox Game Pass right now blows dick. It sucks. But it's because they take the good games off and put these shitty slop games on there and expect people to buy the Xbox Game Pass because of that.
Because this business model makes no sense. In what world can $20 a month get you access to hundreds of $70 games? The prices will continue to go up because they literally have to for this to be profitable. And Xbox has pushed Game Pass at the cost of their own console. In what world can you run an advertisement campaign where you devalue your own console and not have it affect its sales? If you call everything an Xbox, suddenly that Xbox you have is a lot less valuable. Like, what is the point in buying an Xbox if you can play it on your smart fridge? Actually. Now, Phil Spencer has told the Xbox team they still plan on releasing another console, but I don't necessarily believe them because Phil Spencer has lied before. He does that sometimes. And all of the signs point to them giving up on consoles. That doesn't mean they will necessarily, but unless they change their strategy, the next Xbox will fail just like the Xbox Series X did.
Yeah, they're gonna be the next Sega. The only way they can make money off of the Game Pass is if they made exclusive. Yeah, I agree with that. They need to put an exclusive game for the Game Pass, a good quality game for the Game Pass, put it on there, and people will actually buy the Game Pass. But I think they're gonna be a next Sega. They're gonna stop releasing consoles and just produce games, and because Microsoft they own Xbox, so they don't really fucking need Xbox. They got so many other profitable, so much more that's profitable. Like Minecraft. But I think they're going to just release games. Like, they'll put Halo to every other console. I think they'll keep the Game Pass on PC. But I don't think they'll ever release a console again.
Xbox would need to make some seriously banger exclusives to start getting people to buy their consoles again. Even now, a lot of the studios that Microsoft has bought have just been gutted and replaced with contract workers. And that's just not how you make a banger exclusive. It just isn't. Halo Infinite is a great example of this. Everyone was super hyped for Halo Infinite because of the beta. And then everyone found out the beta was all the content there was. And then when Xbox does
and Halo Infinite's the only Halo for the next 10 years.
Make console exclusives, they completely screw over the development studios making the game. Like, why did an Xbox developer have to go public to get Xbox's attention to check their emails? That is insane. So yeah, unless Xbox changes their ways, they're going to die. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
W Video Man, go subscribe. Subscribe to him. Spance. Go subscribe to him. W Video Man.